Hey folks, Chris Waters here, joined by Kevin Van Ord, and it's time for an episode of Ask GameSpot, the show where every Monday at noon, we answer your questions on games and not games, as the case may be. Today, it's games though, Kevin, and what game are we focusing on?
Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Our first question is probably one that's on everyone's mind, given how awesome Assassin's Creed 3 ship battles were, and how big a part they're going to play in Assassin's Creed 4. Jeremy Dell on Twitter asks, will there be online multiplayer ship battles in AC Black Flag?
Well, Jeremy, the bad news is there will not be online ship battles in Assassin's Creed 4. Apparently the team tried to fool around with it a little bit and it just wasn't working out the way they wanted it to, so maybe in the future, but for now, no online ship battles. The good news is that I will have some information up about the multiplayer in the next day or two on GameSpot.com, so keep a lookout for that. I can't talk about it quite yet, but I will be dropping a knowledge bomb on some multiplayer stuff.
Can you talk about it now?
No.
How about now?
No.
Garrett Bracken on Twitter asks, who is composing the score for ACIV?
Well, as it happens, it's Brian Tyler, the same man who composed the Far Cry 3 score. Oh. So if you were a fan of Jesper Kyd's previous musical scores in Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 1, then he's not around for this one, sadly.
Matt Facer on Facebook asks, what is the major difference between the current gen version and the next gen version?
Well, when I was at Comic-Con, I played the PlayStation 4 version. As it happens, the differences aren't going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of platform parity, but it does look better. You're going to get a better draw distance. You'll get some more graphical finesse in there and so on and so forth. But really, you're looking at the same game across platforms with some obvious minor differences with the next generation looking better, as you would expect.
From Facebook, Skylar Lee Creighton France has a question for you, Kevin Van Ord America. How have they improved the stealth aspect of the game?
Well, one of the biggest pieces of news is there's no more insta-fail, so if you are to make a mistake during your stealth mission, you're not going to be just desynced and have to start it over again. So that's really good news. They've improved some of the feedback loop, but there are some other bits and pieces in there. For example, there are snipers that can kill you in a couple of hits. So there's more reasons to stay stealthy in those instances. You've also got some other stealthy weapons. So you've got like a blowgun, and you can use darts to make your enemies fall asleep. You can use darts to turn them against each other. You've also got alarm bells in there. So you might have, if you trigger a guard and he wants to warn his buddies, he can go and ring a bell, but you can disable the bell to keep that from happening. So there are a lot more nods to the stealth gameplay, and hopefully it will all work really well. And that's really freaky, Chris.
That's my blowgun impression.
Yeah, don't do
I'm
that.
getting
yeah,
for blowguns.
Don't do that.
From Dr. Edmund Zetto via Twitter, we don't have to get off the boats, do we, Kevin? I just love boats.
Well, Doctor, the bad news is that you do have to get off the boat. Ubisoft estimates that about 60% of the time you'll spend in Assassin's Creed 4 will be off the boat, about 40% of the time will be on the boat. So you'll still get lots of boat time. It just won't be the entire game.
Starboard, Edward!
So XX Nartudo fan XX, that's gotta be a typo, right?
Typo, yeah.
Well, anyway, XX Nartudo fan XX in the Uplay forums wants to know, how serious is Ubisoft taking the tablet integration? I want to know that I'm able to go to my tablet and check my Animus synchronization.
Oh, okay. And with that, my broadside of questions for Kevin Van Ord comes to an end. Thank you, Kevin, for providing so much information about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Always my pleasure, Chris.
And thank you, folks, for watching. Remember, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. That way you'll know when we put out the call for questions for next week's episode of Ask GameSpot. Thanks again. See you next time.